Welcome to eleague Online. eleague Online is a platform to automate running pickleball or any kind of net sports, volleyball, racquetball, leagues with a level of simplicity and efficiency never seen before on the courts. You will be able to build around, print game fixture sheets, and manage and view scores. Forget the spreadsheets for creating fixtures and recording scores. eleagueonline.com takes care of everything, freeing up the players and organizers to focus on what matters the most, the game. Enable your club on the platform today and enjoy the benefits. Watch this video completely to see all the features and capabilities that the platform provides. You will be able to sign up to create your digital club today. Alternatively, you can go ahead and schedule a demo to get a live demo with the creators of the website. Here is the agenda for the introductory video. We'll start with understanding what the league types are. The platform currently supports 3 league types, doubles, individual, doubles, partners, and singles. We'll see what each one of those league types really are, how they work, and what does it really involves to run these kinds of leagues on the platform. We'll see how the system works through producing the fixtures and grouping logic. How does the system really go about grouping the number of players that you provide for building your league? How do you go about creating a league on the website? We'll then look at all sorts of different sorts of text file formats supported on the website. We'll then look at life cycle of a league. Now, there are various events in a typical life cycle of a league, various scenarios that you might run into. You will be able to build around, and we'll look at each one of these life cycle events used in a live demo. We'll build around using upload by file data and by applying ladder logic. We'll manage no-shows, drop-ins, which are typical real-life scenarios in any given league. You'll be able to override system fixtures. At times, life happens, and there are things that happen on the court that are out of ordinary or exceptional scenarios that you run into. And system provides, eleague Online provides a lot of capabilities to override the default system fixtures and take some of these exceptional rounds. You'll be able to see features like lock round, edit and lock scores, and generate scorecards. You'll be able to lock and unlock scores. You'll be able to then delete a round and redo the entire thing, and so on and so forth. All of these events can occur in a life cycle, in the life cycle of a league, any kind of league that we are running on the platform, be it doubles platform, doubles partner, or singles. eleague Online supports all of it. If you need additional insights to the capabilities and features, feel free to schedule a demo right from the website or sign up on the website today. You will be able to get your credentials and play with the system, build your own club, and really get started today. So let's dive into the demo now. There are 3 primary league types that are supported in the system today. And these 3 types are doubles individual, doubles partners, and singles. A high level difference between these 3 is in doubles individual, it's a doubles game, but the scores are recorded at an individual level. In doubles partners, you sign up as a partner team. Like the 2 of you, it's a double game. The 2 of you, as the 2 players, sign up as partners. So the scores and everything goes as partner teams. And the 3rd type is singles. You're playing singles. Now that's individual but singles. Now the way there are subtle differences on how system handles each one of these, and that's what we'll look. This is how a doubles individuals round looks like. So now, if you look at the screen, you have individual names here in the round, and what this is telling you is there are like 5 games in this round. And let's look at the game 1 configuration just to understand what you are seeing on the screen. Thomas and Kimberly are team 1 on this game one, like one team on this game, and the other team is Christopher and Erica, while Mary has the bye in this particular round, right? So Thomas and Kim as a team are playing against Chris and Erica. And this legend down here shows who serves versus returns. So in the game one, the way the game starts is Thomas is going to be serving while Kim will be by the side. And this is how the game starts. And the starting position would be Chris is going to receive the serve. So no confusion. And similarly in game two, you have Kimberly and Christopher playing against Mary and Thomas, right? That's how the configuration is going to work. So at any given point in time, you have these 5 icons that are telling you what is the role of a particular player of these 5 players in the group. Notice that each column is one game in doubles individual, and that's something that is different in the other 2 league types. A doubles partner game looks like this on the other hand. Now if you notice here, you're seeing set 1, set 2, set 3, set 4 and set 5, whereas in doubles individual we saw game 1, game 2, game 3, game 4 and game 5. Now the reason for that is, now each column in doubles partner is actually 2 games. So if you think about it, Minnesota Vikings is a team of 2 that is playing against Arizona Cardinals. That is again a team of 2. And in the first game in set 1 that is going to run on court 1, Minnesota Vikings is going to be serving to Arizona Cardinals. And in the second game on set 1, Atlanta Falcons will be serving to Carolina Panthers. And you can apply the same by reading all the S's and R's with the blue and green circles. That's what defines court 1 versus court 2 and who's serving versus who is receiving. And the red hand is always a notification or a signal for bye. Right? Each column is a set of 2 games, and that's why we're calling this a set instead of a game. In doubles individual it was a game, versus here it's a set. And singles goes exactly the same way. There is absolutely no difference in how singles work as far as the league configuration and the system logic is concerned. Singles and doubles partners work exactly the same way. Both of these league types have 2 games in each set. That's how the configuration and the league system is designed to work. Here is how the fixture logic and the grouping logic is working for eLeague Online. Now what we are going to do is just run this program here. I'll clear the screen and let this loop run from like a group of 4 till 100. So basically what you're seeing is how the system decides on the groupings. So like on a group of 8, the system will, if the player count is 8 for a league, the system will break it into 2 groups of 4 and 4. For a group of 9, for a player count of 9 in a particular league, 2 groups will be formed, 5 and 4. For a group of 10, you have 5 and 5. For a group of 11, now that's tricky because you have no other choice but to have a group of 6 and 5. For 12, system automatically detects that, yeah, now you need 3 codes and 3 groups, 4, 4 and 4. See how the configuration changes as you progress. Like look at the difference between 15 and 16, for example. 15 is a group of 3 groups of 5, 5, 5 each, whereas 16, now you'll need 4 codes, groups of 4, 4, 4 and 4 each, right? That's how the logic works, and I'll keep this running for up till 100. You'll be able to see how really the grouping works. Now let's see how this fixture logic that we just saw, based on number of players, how the system forms the groups. Let's see some of that in action on the website. Say if I go to any league, let's just submit, say, number 3. So I'm providing a group of 3, right? And on my 3, I get a message saying validation failed because minimum group size should be 4. What I provided as an input was this text file. Now I'll provide an input for 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the text file that we'll provide as an input. I'll remove this and I'll now select the number 4. I'll say upload. The system will produce one group of 4. That's what you expect, one group of 4, and 3 games per the fixtures, right? And if I were to now do the same thing for, say, the next one, so 5, that's my next file. It's again going to be one group of 5, right? That's what we expect to see. There you go, that's one group of 5. Now let's bring in some variation. Maybe I will provide a group of say 12. Let's see what we expect in a group of 12. So I'll do an upload by file and select the group of 12 file from here. That's my 12.txt, and provide this. While that is working, just take a look at this. That's my list of 12 that's going to show up on the round. There you go. So now you have 3 groups of 4 each available per the text file input that we provided. Now let's do one more test, a couple more tests. Some random number 29, that's a list of 29, and this is a list of like 100. Let's just provide this as an input to the system, and let's see the fixtures that it produces. So if I do an upload by file, take 29, that's my 29, and let's see what system produces. Ideally it should provide right 5, 5, 5, 5, so 5 groups of 5, and the last group will have just 4. So we should see a total of 6 groups, group 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, each with 5, and group 6 will have 4, right? And let's just do one more final test here, upload by file, and we'll just provide a list of those 100 names in here, and let's see the fixtures and the groupings that the system comes back with. So the system came back as expected with like 20 groups, right, of 5 each. So if you just go through each group, you will see all the 100 names and the groups form. You can very well go ahead, if your league is really 100 players, you're all set to go. Just do a lock round and start the games and have the scores entered. So that's how the groupings and the fixtures on eleagueonline are working. To create a league, from the home page, navigate to leagues. This brings up a list of existing leagues in the system. It also shows you how many rounds do you have in the leagues so far, and these are the fields associated with a league. The name, schedule, like from date to date, and whether it's due per recorded, the type, whether it's doubles or not, and whether it's active or not, and the edit button. Let's add a new league, and we'll call this demo league doubles partner. So we are creating a partner league here, and any date, I'll just get it started from say 20th until say 28th. We'll say rounds per day 2, and the league type is important because we are going to be creating doubles partner. You select the appropriate league type and you enter a description, and then for the sake of simplicity, I'll just add this and say due per recorded, and this is active. Say yes. The league just got created. We'll also create a doubles, a singles league, because we'll be looking at that as well. So let me create a singles league as well. All the fields are added. Notice that we have marked the rounds per day to 1. The type is singles and the description is demo league singles. We say save. Now we have all the 3 types of leagues created that we are going to be doing the demos on. So demo league doubles individual, demo league doubles partner, and demo league singles. These are the 3 leagues that we are going to be looking at in our demos. Here are the various file formats that are supported, the text file formats. We'll get to the Excel sheet later, but these are the text file formats that are supported. Notice in the first one, there is no score after the comma. In the second one, there is a score after the comma. In the third one, there are no scores and there are blank lines in the text file. In the text file. In the fourth one, there are scores and the blank lines. We'll see when you will use each of these text files to accomplish the round building that you want to build for your respective need. Let's look at how doubles individual league works. We'll use this, we'll demonstrate all the features, all the different kinds of scenarios that can occur through the life cycle of a league as we work through this demo here. So let's go ahead and build our first round. On the right side of the screen, we have our text files opened up. The first one is names without the scores. The second one is names with scores. The third is without the scores but with blank lines. The fourth is with scores and with blank lines. And we'll play with each one of these and try and build the rounds. When I'm trying to build the first round, now notice that the system provides the capability to upload by data as well. You can very well go ahead and create the names, add the names with say a duper score or some form of letting the system know how to sort so that the system can use the sorting order to build the fixtures, right? But then say if you have like 40 people signed up for your league, adding all 40 people on the form, yes, you can do it. System provides the capability, but that will be very cumbersome. And hence the text file input, hence the upload by file option, right? You can do both. We'll get to override system fixtures in a minute here. But let's first do a simplistic difference between number 1 and number 2 as we try and build the round. So let's build the round with number 1 without any score here. So in a way, we are not letting the system know of any sorting order here. So system will by default just go ahead and sort based on the names provided here. So let me go ahead and provide this as an input, and I'll select the number 1 test data without scores. That's this file on the right. And if I say upload, the system comes back with the groupings. With all the 9 players listed in the order that we provided. My group 1 is list of 5 players. Group 2 is 4 players, right? In the order that we provided. Now let's go ahead and lock the round. Now, a quick word on lock round as well. Currently, this is not saved in the system, in the database yet. When we do a lock round, that's when it actually gets saved in the database. In other words, what you can do is just do the build round a number of times without really impacting anything. So at this point, let's again just build the round. We just undid what we did in the previous step. Now we are keying in, we are building the round again with the second file, which is the test data with scores. Let me do this. Let me keep the file opened right here and let's do an upload. Notice that the system comes back with the same order. It just ignored the ratings. And the reason for that is we did not select the override system fixtures. So let me just go ahead and go to the build round. That checkbox really tells the system to override the system rating by the rating that is provided in the sheet. Right? And if you read through these comments, this tells you what the system will do. So now let's try this step again with scores, and I have selected, notice that override system fixtures is checked, and I'll do an upload. Now you will notice that on the top is Ruben, who happens to be the top scorer here. Ruben is on the top, Kimberly is next because Kimberly is 6.869, and the lowest on the list, the bottom of the list should be Thomas Price. And if you just cross check Thomas's rating, yeah, that's 2.044. So that's indeed should be at the bottom of the list, right? So that's how the build round works with the first and second kind of text file input that you provide. At this point, let's just go ahead and lock the round. As it is, as we have the fixtures now, we lock the round, save it in the database, and then at this point you have the PDF generated that you'll go ahead and share with the teams to with the players to do the play. And let's look at what that looks like. Now notice that this is a ladder league with 2 rounds in a day. So what you're seeing in this PDF, a printout of this tab and this PDF is what you will hand over. You as the league coordinator are going to hand over to the players on the court. So group 1 will get this sheet, the first page. Group 2 will get the second page. Let's see what that group 1 looks like really. This is the first round configuration, the top table. Now this is telling you that Ruben and Kimberly are going to be the team 1. In the game 1, Ruben and Kimberly are playing against Christopher and David, and that is indicated by the color here. So the yellows are playing together, the sky blue or turquoise is playing against is the other team, and Mary has the bye in game 1, right? And similarly for game 2, game 3, game 4, game 5, this is the configuration. This configuration is configurable at the club level. We can change it as we like. Right, so that's your round 1, and round 2 is supposed to be 1 up and 1 down, or 2 up and 2 down. Again, that's a configurable value for the club. If you want to do a 1 up and 1 down based on the scores for the round 2 in the same day, that's exactly why the teams have this blank sitting here. So whoever is the bottom most in, say, assuming 1 is the configurable value for the demo digital club that this league is a part of. So if 1 up and 1 down is the ladder configuration, then the lowest scorer is going to go down to group 2, and the top scorer from this group is going to move up here. Right, that's how the ladder logic is going to work, and we'll see that in action as we complete this round, enter the scores, and move forward. Right, so this is your round PDF that gets handed over to the players. At this point, we will go ahead and say edit scores. Now the players completed their play, and you are here ready to edit the score. Now I'll go ahead and edit the scores, and we'll make, say, Mary win and Ruben lose, so that we know who's going to move up and move down, just so we know what scores are we entering. So say 11. Now notice that the system is forcing the same score for the players played in the same team, right? And that's how it should work. In the group 2, we will make Thomas win, so that we see Thomas move up in the next round that we build. And all the scores are entered, and now we are ready to save. Let's go ahead and lock the score now, as we have edited the scores. And let me go ahead and lock. And what happens on lock is it just tells you score locked successfully, and it generates the scorecard, and that's what you're seeing here now. Remember, we entered good scores for Mary and Thomas, and we are seeing those as the scores were entered, and this is how the scoring looks like. If you notice all of these columns there, so you have the player name, you have rating. This is the weighted rating, points scored, points possible, points won percentage. So for example, if you look at the top scorer, Thomas, he scored 33 points. He played the 3 games basically. Total points possible were 33 and he scored 33. He won all the 3 games that you're seeing in games won versus games lost as well. And total games possible is showing 4 because in one of the rounds you had the games of 4, so that's why you're seeing 4. Now the weighted score works as a configurable value with a percentage allocated to this points won percentage, games played percentage, and games won percentage, and this is configurable at the club level, right? So a combination of these 3 results in the weighted rating, and the last column here shows the game history, meaning the last 6 games, win or lose. You're just seeing a max of 4 or 3 because this was the first round. We'll go ahead and see build the second round, and that's really where you will see some of these powerful capabilities that are built for building a round. Let's now go ahead and build the second round. This was the PDF sheet that was handed over to the players to play the round 1 and round 2 scheduled on the first day. Now, if after the players completed the first round and had the scores, they knew who scored top and bottom. So they actually did the 1 up and one down right on the court and played the round 2. Now you're coming back in the system. You just entered the scores for round 1, and now you're building round 2 by applying the ladder logic. And now you're seeing this radio button that says apply ladder on previous round. That will just simply apply the ladder on the previous round, meaning we'll do the 1 up and 1 down as needed. So let me just go ahead and do this here so that you'll be able to see the functionality. I select the radio button, apply ladder, and just without any input, there's absolutely no input needed, and I say build. Once the build completes, you will notice that the group 1 and group 2, the fixtures just were done, and now we are seeing the new fixtures, and we'll compare these 2 fixtures side by side so you'll see what did the system do. On the left is the current round that we just generated, the fixtures that we just generated for round 2, and on the right you see the round 1 scores. Now notice that Ruben has the lowest scores. You don't see Ruben in group 1 for the round 2. The top scorer here is Mary and Christopher. Both have a tie. And the way tie works is whatever order they were in originally, that's the order prevails. So that's why you're seeing Christopher on the top, Mary on at the second position. And that's what the players are instructed to do as well on the court. David is the third one because David scored 28, and then you have Kimberly, and in the end you have Ruben, whom you do not see in group 1. He moved to the top position in group 2, and we'll see that in a minute. But this order is what? So Christopher, Mary, David, Kimberly, Thomas, that's the order in which the players in round 2 would have actually played the games on, right? You're building this round 2 after the fact, after the games were played on the round. Now, look at group 2. Group 2, you expect to see the top name, Ruben. That's here. And you expect to see the top scorer here is Thomas, because we saw that Thomas did move up to the bottom position in group 1. So Thomas was the top, hence he moved up. And in these 3, the order is now all the three are tied. Hence, you do not see any change in the order. Erica, Peter, and John just show up as they were originally placed here. You see Ruben on the top. That's how the apply ladder logic is running. Now we'll go ahead and lock the round, and we'll start entering the scores for round 2. Let's go ahead and edit the scores for round 2. I'll make this a little bigger and see the scores. Notice again that it won't let me enter different scores for the same team players. The scores are saved. We are going to lock the score now, and this round 2 will now reflect in the view scorecard. Now look at the scorecard. The scorecard has round 2 and round 1, and every tab has 2 tables in here. If you see, this top one is always the cumulative score, and the bottom table is this round only, right? So for round 1, the top and the bottom players scores are the same because round 1 did not have anything to accumulate really. Round 2 has cumulative scores. So this is a total of round 1 and round 2 put together. So Thomas, for example, across the 2 rounds scored a total of 63 points. Points possible were 77. He played a total of 7 games. Games possible were 8. He won 5, lost 2, and here is the history of last 6 games. And the weighted rating again is based on the percentage that has been configured for points 1 percentage, games played percentage, and games won percentage to arrive at a weighted rating. And that's what you're seeing up here. This is how the scoring and the scorecards work. So you just got done with week 1, both rounds 1 and 2. Now you are in week 2 and you're about to build your round 3. Now say in round 3, you get the data right here in upload by data. By default, you are here. The Excel files will use some of these override system capabilities as we build round 5 and 6. But in this round, in round 3 and 4, I want to demonstrate a little bit of more capabilities that are available right here with upload by data. So by default, you are seeing all the players listed down by the rating order, right? Now, say for example, for this round, Mr. John Doe is not available, and there is a new entry here. Say a couple of new drop-ins are showing up for this round, and say one of them is Michael Smith. And say we know Michael Smith as our top player, and he's one of the top players, and you would want him to be placed right at the top so that he's playing with the same level people. And say we have Mr. Sudhir Kumar, and say we don't know who Mr. Sudhir Kumar is, and we don't know the rating. We'll just leave him at the default rating so that he shows up towards the end bottom of the table. So now notice we have a total of 10 players. Originally we had 9. John Doe is no show, but now we have 2 players drop-ins, so a total of 10. We go ahead and build the round. Notice that in the fixtures, you do not see Mr. John Doe, but you see Michael Smith on the top because we rated him very high. We wanted him to be placed on the top. And then we see Sudhir Kumar in group 2 towards the bottom. We are happy with the fixtures. We'll go ahead and lock the round. Now, at this point, you have the PDF generated. This is the PDF per the rounds that we just got generated. Notice that for the round 2 in the week 2, you have these blanks because you'll have the ladder logic getting applied. So we'll go ahead and edit the scores. We'll go ahead and save the scores and view lock the score and then view the scorecard. So you'll see on the scorecard, you'll see round 3 showing up as well. And here you will be able to see that, yeah, Sudhir Kumar, who just showed up, he played really well, and he just have 4 games as compared to a total of 8 games that the others have, because he just showed up for round 3. And you're seeing the stats for everyone. Notice that Michael Smith as well has just 4 games because he just showed up for round 3. And notice that John Doe has just a total of 6 games because John did not show up for round 3, right? So John will not show up in the bottom table. Every scorecard has, like I've pointed out before, the cumulative on the top and just this round on the bottom. So notice that there is no John Doe in this round because in round 3 he did not show up, but round 2 you will see John Doe everywhere. You won't see Sudhir and Michael here in round 2 and round 1. You can very well at this point download the PDF of the scorecard and share with your players. At this point, we'll go ahead and build the second round, because by this time the players have already played this by doing the one up and one down logic. We'll go ahead at this point and just do nothing. Just select the apply ladder on previous round, build the round. The system takes care of the one up and one down ladder logic, generates the fixtures for you. All you will do is we just validate once that this is actually matching with how the players actually played the rounds. You go ahead and lock the round, and then as soon as you lock the round, you go ahead and edit and key in the scores that you would have already got from this sheet from the court, from the players. Go ahead and key all the scores now. You lock the score, the scorecard gets generated. Now you will see 4 rounds in the scorecard. You do your checks and balances, just validate that everything is showing up really well. The names of the players are accurate. Once you validate, just go ahead and download the PDF, share with your players, and there you go. Let's now look at what an override system fixtures will do. This is the override system fixtures logic that we are going to understand now, and it comes very handy because on the ground during a particular day there are absences, there are new players dropping in, there could be various scenarios that you might run into, and this override system fixtures comes very handy in those cases. And let's look at one such example here. Say for example, this is your data, right? So far, so many players have played across the 4 rounds. Notice that this blue dot indicates that the round 1 players, meaning the original players in the league. Michael and Sudhir, we know that they did join only round 3 and 4. They were not in the original league. You don't see the red dot, the blue dot there. Right now, the way your override system fixtures logic works is, say for let's see in this file, if we upload this text file with David on the top and Erica at the bottom of the list, if we just upload this file without checking this option, the system is going to use the system rating as called out here. Text file with names only, sorting will be performed based on system weighted rating, meaning the system will sort by the data here, by what you see here. Like Thomas will be at the top, Kimberly will be at the second position, and so on and so forth. Whereas if you select this and you provide a text file with name only, system sort is going to get overridden. Now groups will be formed from the first name to the last name in this list, and we'll see this in action right away. So let me go ahead and upload the file, and I'm uploading the number 1 file without scores, and let me just go ahead and upload this. And notice that I have checked override system fixtures, right? So override is going to result in David being at the top and Erica being at the bottom, right? That's what you're seeing in the result now. David, Peter, Mary, Kimberly, Thomas. That's the order you're seeing here. David, Peter, Mary, Kimberly, Thomas. And in the second group, you have Ruben, Christopher, John Doe, and Erica. And that's what you're seeing here, right? Now, let me go ahead and build this again. I'll use the same file, but this time do not check the override system fixture. There you go. Now the system used the system weighted rating, and we know that Thomas was on the top, Kimberly was second in the list, and so on and so forth. So the system used the system rating to really sort. And that's how you can use these features to make the system work the way you want. Now let's look at one more example in the same thing. Now you have scores here as well. What if I use this file with both of those options? Let's see. Now say if I want to upload this file, the number 2 file with scores, now I'm not checking the override system fixtures. So what will the system do? This option B is what we are looking at. You have the name comma score. Sorting will still be performed based on system weighted rating because I have not asked the system to override. So if I upload, you will still see Thomas on the top, regardless of the fact that Thomas had a 2.044 rating here, right? Because Thomas played well in this league so far, and it's going by the weighted rating of what Thomas had. So Thomas, Kimberly, Christopher, that's the rating, that's the order that you are seeing that currently prevails in the sheet, right? Thomas at the top, Kimberly and Christopher, and so on and so forth. Now if I upload the same with using override system fixtures, let me use the same file with scores. I'm using this one. Now guess what? Who's going to be at the top? Yes, Ruben is going to be at the top because 7.544554. He has the top rating that we now provide, and we ask the system to override system rating, meaning use what I am providing and build the fixtures accordingly. Now, with all of this, there is one more scenario that you will need to think about. Say, assuming, now you must have noticed that by default in a group of 9, system comes back with fixtures of 5 and 4 here, right? So it's the system logic to arrive at the optimum number of people on a court. Wherever it cannot fit 5, it will still go ahead and arrange 4 on a particular court. But it will never happen that you will be able to get the 4 in the first group and 5 in the second group. That's not how the system design is. But what if you have a need to override that logic and just go with what you have? Because at times what happens is there are situations on the court that just happen, and somebody, a player got injured or left in between, and you are required to override and make some certain adjustments. And that's the reason why the override system fixtures options with line breaks was provided. Now look at this file. So line breaks, you see this file. Now that the way the logic is coded is, it will go after it, the system is going to just ignore all the blank lines and at the top, at the bottom, but the blank lines in between are an indication of the group breaks, right? So the first group the system will form is going to be these 4 names. The second group, now 1, 2, 3, that's going to get ignored because it's less than 4. So any group of less than 4 or greater than 5 is just going to get ignored, right? So that gets ignored. So the system really will come back with 2 groups, one with the group of 4 and the second with group of 5 from Thomas to Erica. And let's just try and test this here. So I provide the without scores and blank lines, and we make sure that we check this box. And if I say upload, now what you're expecting is basically just give me the groups as I have asked for. So David, Peter, Mary, and Kimberly are on the top. And group 2, notice that 1, 2, 3 got ignored, and the group 2 is Thomas, Ruben, Christopher, John, and Erica. That's how the override system fixtures is going to work for your specific needs here. Now continuing with the same scenario, if I use in the upload by file, and let me use the other file with blank lines and scores. What if I use blank data with blank lines and stores, which is in this file. Notice that I did not select the override system fixtures, and let's see what the system comes back with, right? The system looked at the system rating, the weighted rating, and that's why you're seeing Thomas on the top here, not David. Now it went by Thomas's rating read. It did not go by David. It did not go by Ruben, who is top in this list, but it went by Thomas because Thomas is at the top in the league so far, right? That's how that logic works. One more capability that is interesting is the ability to select the players based on either all previous round or round one, because at times there are needs, if this is a big league like 40 players and there are no shows, drop-ins over a period of weeks, then the player list could get very long and messy, right? And say if your fresh round just needs to have your original players and maybe just one or two additions, so maybe that's what we are going to build here. So if I do say two new additions, so this is my addition 1, or I'll call them, say, drop in 1 and drop in 2. So I'm saying I need a round with only the round 1 players, which was an original total of 9 players, and then I have 3 drop-ins. Actually, I just have, say, I'll remove John Doe, and I want to add in drop in 1 and drop in 2. All right, so I have a total of 10 players. Let me just go ahead and build this round and see what happens. I'll just build a round with like 2 groups because we have a total of 10 people, and you will see that there is no John Doe, but this drop in 1 and drop in 2 have been added towards the end. So that's one more feature that you can use. Let's talk about a few more additional scenarios that you might run into. Say we just created this round 5, and say I'm good with it. We just added a drop in 1, drop in 2 players, and say I lock the round. I'm happy with it. I just go ahead and edit the scores. Now, after saving the scores, I got a feedback, or I realized myself that no, I made a mistake in adding the scores. You can absolutely go ahead and come back and do an edit score again, because the score is not logged yet, and you will be able to add. Now, say for example, if you added a score wrongly, let's say I did this now, or this. Let's see what happens here. That's not a valid score, right? Scores for both the teams cannot be same, right? So these are some of the validations that are built in that will prevent you from making some mistakes in entering the scores. Let's try and do one more check here. Let me just save this with the accurate scores. Yeah, this time it let you save the score. Let me give you one more scenario. Say if I add 22 for here. Let's see what the message says. Now the validation failed again. It says score 22 for group 1, game set 1 is greater than the allowed upper limit configured, which is 21. So there is an upper limit and a lower limit configured by the club. And that's really configurable. You can set it up to what you want for your respective club. So for this particular club, for Demo Digital Club, the upper limit is 21. So if I make it 21 and try and now save, it will let you save because the upper limit 21 is just fine. And let's look at the other way as well. Say if I corrected this and if I said, say 10-4, say my score is 10-4. Let's see what happens. Now it says the max score for group 1 set 1 is lower than the allowed lower limit configured of 11. So the lowest configured limit for a particular game is 11. That's why it's not letting me enter a score of 10-4. So 10-4 fails. If I change it back, I will be able to save it back again. So some validations. Now say I lock the score. And after locking the score, the scorecard gets generated and you shared the score with your players, right? Once the score gets shared, and then say Mr. Michael Smith reaches out to you that, hey, I don't think I lost the last two games. I see the last two games marked as loss here. My score was much better than what I'm seeing here. What just happened? Did you, or Michael Smith probably was not in round 5, so let's look at an example that was in round 5. So in round 5, let's say drop in 1, drop in 1 reaches out to you that, hey, I see you have marked me all the games lost, but that was not the case. I won the last game here, which is this one. So in this case, you will need to be able to edit the score, but notice that this edit score is not enabled. All you can do is view score. So you would want to just go back and validate drop in 2's scores, or drop in 1 scores. I'm seeing 1, 4, 4, 6, and 15 is the total. All the games they have lost. So but now you got the feedback, no, on game 1 actually it's the other way. Ruben and drop in 1 won, and Peter and David actually lost. So the score was entered in reverse. So in that case, what you will do is you need to come down here and you will need to unlock the score. Right now it tells you that scorecard deleted, unlocked score for round 5. Right now, if you take a quick peek at scorecard, you will notice that you don't see round 5 in the scorecard now. You just see until round 4 because you just deleted the scorecard for round 5. Now what I can do is I can come back and I can make the correction that is needed. And now I have rightfully marked drop in 1 as 1. And Peter and David really lost that game. Now the score is edited, and now I can lock the score. Once the score is locked, it will accurately regenerate the scorecard and will reflect in the latest scorecard. Now, if you look at round 1, you see drop in 1 here with 1 game, 1 here, the game 1. So with the accurate score that you just updated. So that's how you go about correcting the scores or making corrections to any mistakes that you might have done while entering the scores. There's one more scenario here that we should talk about that you can run into. What if for some reason you just messed up the entire round? Not just the scores, even the fixtures are not right for whatever reason, and you just want to redo the entire thing. And if that is your need, you can use this delete last round. Now use that with caution because this is going to delete this round number 5 completely. You will need to rebuild the fixtures, you will need to redo the scores and everything. So if I do a delete here, then that last round 5 got deleted completely. That's gone from managing rounds. If you look at the scorecard, it's gone from the scorecard too. So that brings us to the end of this score validations and some special case scenarios that you might run into. Another very useful and important feature that eleagueonline provides is the capability or the ability to configure various parameters at the club level. On the screen, you are seeing an example of how Club A and Club B are configured differently to produce different fixtures for a group of 5 and a group of 4. So on the left hand side you have digital club A, on the right hand side you have digital club B. Both are configured differently, and this for both of them we just created the same kind of doubles individual league, exactly same configuration, and provided the exactly same input file with a team of player count of 9. And we uploaded the file using system override fixtures to use the ratings that we provided in both cases. So identical round builds. However, notice that the game configuration in a group of 5 from left to right is a little different. While both of these really meet all the requirements, like every player should get all the roles, like the server and the partner on the serving team but not serving, and on the returning team once actually returning the serve, and the in the next game just be on the side, and one game of buy. Those are the 5 different combinations or 5 different roles a player can play in the fixture of 5. So that requirement is met in both the fixtures. However, the fixtures are still a little different. Game 1 is identical. However, look at game 2. Game 2 structure is a little different. In game 2 in Digital Club A, the server is Kimberly, whereas in game 2 of Digital Club B, the server is Christopher. Right, so there are subtle differences on how the fixture is configured, and this is an example of how you can have different configurations at the club level. Let's look at the group 2 in both of these. Now notice the difference in group 2. In group 2 on club A, there are just 3 games, whereas club B is configured to have 6 games for a fixture of 4. Right? So in club A preferred to have, say, 3 games of 16, whereas club B wanted to have in the fixture of 4, they wanted to have more games with less number of points, like 6 games of, say, 8 points each, and so on and so forth. These are just 2 examples of how the configurations could be different to produce different fixtures. Other examples of what you can configure at the club level are, say, the minimum group size, or the player name length, or the max score validation criteria, or the minimum score validation criteria, and so on and so forth. All the settings and configurations that you see across the site, across all the features and capabilities, can be configured at the club level. Let's look at another example of a league level configuration. The left hand side demo doubles league is configured to have 2 rounds per day, whereas the doubles individual league in club B is configured to have 1 round in the day. And the difference the difference that occurs because of this configuration is when you build the round and you build the PDF sheet, the round PDF sheet that the players get when they are playing on the court is different. And here is how it looks. So we have used the exact same file input with exact same parameters to produce the exact same results. The rounds are exactly the same. Of course, and this is using the club level configuration as we looked at in the previous section. So the configuration is a little different. Now, what we want to see is how the PDF sheet looks different for both of these. On the left hand side, since the demo doubles individual club A league is configured to have 2 rounds per day, you are seeing a portrait round PDF sheet with 2 tables printed here. This is for the second round after applying the ladder logic. Whereas on the right hand side for club B, the doubles individual league is configured to have just 1 round in the day. So in here, you're just seeing a landscape round PDF that has just 1 table printed because there is no second round coming. And if I scroll down to the fixture of 4, you will see that the 6 games are printed and it's just 1. Whereas on the left hand side for club A, you have the same, the 3 game fixture, and you are seeing the 2 tables printed there because that league is configured to have 2 rounds in the day. Let's look at how partner leagues work. So now we'll play a little bit on the doubles partner league, and we'll see what are some of the differences in how a doubles individual league works versus a doubles partner. So say if I'm going to build a round for doubles partner. So let me change this to doubles partner, and notice that this is telling you that there are no rounds so far because we haven't built any. And this is the first file that we will pull in. We have a list of teams here, and we are going to be building the teams round for this input. So if I navigate to this partner teams list and I go ahead and upload this, now here are the fixtures. Now notice the differences on how you see these icons that are different. And this is an important distinction that we need to be understanding really well. Here is a side-by-side comparison of how a doubles partner league works versus how a doubles individual leagues work. Double individual, we have seen so far that these two, Thomas and Michael, for example, in group, they are playing together against Erica and Kimberly. That's your game one. Game two is Michael and Erica in one team playing against Thomas and Sudhir. And this is also telling you that in game two, Michael is serving and Sudhir is receiving, and so on and so forth. And this is where the icon explains, right? So that's how doubles individual. Now that's different than in a doubles partner. Now doubles partner, really Minnesota Vikings, for example. I've just used NFL names, but it could be any team name here. So Minnesota Vikings, for example, now that's a team of two. And this team is playing against Arizona Cardinals. So if you think about it, the first set of these two put together is one game on court one on this set. In set one, the second game on court two is between Atlanta Falcons and Carolina Panthers, right? So with Atlanta Falcons serving to Carolina Panthers, they are on the receiving side. And anyone of those two as a team can choose to receive or serve. That's up to them, right? So net the difference is in doubles individual, this one column is one game, whereas in doubles partner, one column is actually two games spread across two courts, but this is just one court. So that's one difference that you want to keep in mind as you are running the doubles leagues here. And if I download the PDF for this, even that is going to be different than what you saw for the doubles individual. Here is the side-by-side comparison of the round PDF sheets that the players are going to be using on the court. On the left hand side you have the doubles partner, and on the right hand side you have the doubles individual, and that clearly indicates here with the legend as well that the paddle with an S is serves and the ball with an R is returns. This is one game like we saw when we built the rounds, one game where Thomas and Michael are playing against Erica and Kimberly in game one, whereas here there are two games in one column. So Minnesota Vikings and playing against Arizona Cardinals in court one, like this blue circle indicates here, with Minnesota Vikings serving to Arizona Cardinals receiving. And the second game in set one on court two is at Atlanta Falcons serving to Carolina Panthers. And that's how your doubles partner is running. The ladder logic and building the rounds, all the features that we saw with doubles individuals in the other videos that we saw, the way you use the text files, the way you use the override system fixtures, the scoring logic, the deletion of rounds, the lock unlock of features for scoring, everything is available and applicable to the doubles partner leagues as well. Let's move forward with locking the round and adding scores and letting the play complete. So now you have locked the rounds and you have provided this sheet, PDF sheet to the players. The players are doing their plays. You got the score sheet back with this as well as this. We'll be applying the ladder up and down logic like we saw in doubles individuals. We'll do the same things here. So let's go ahead and edit the scores, and I'll just make sure that you notice this. In doubles individual, the system was forcing you to put the same score for these two, for example, for the two paddles. That's not the case here, because now these two are different teams and they can have different scores, right? So now these two are different. The system is not forcing these two to be the same, and rightfully so. So these are all individual games that we are entering the scores for. So scores are now added, and once you are happy with the scores, just go ahead and lock the scores. And same as doubles individual, you will see the scorecard getting generated, and this time around it is going to be by the team names, but the same kind of stats are generated for in case of doubles partners as well. You'll be able to download the PDFs with all the scores, cumulative as well as individual, and will be able to share with the teams. That's how the scoring works, exactly same as doubles individual as well. In manage rounds, you'll be able to see all the rounds coming up and showing up here as you progress through the league. And now for the next round in the same day, what you can do is just go ahead and apply the ladder, and the ladder will apply based on the scorings from the past, and we'll see that as a comparison side by side right here. Let's now build the round 2 of the doubles partner league, and we will use the apply ladder on previous round. Notice our configuration for demo digital club is still one move up and one move down. You can very well change that to 2. Those are the two valid values. Now if I build this, we know that our scores, our arrangement is going to be based on the scores from the previous round, because that's what is needed as we handed over these PDF sheets to the players for week 1 of round 1 and round 2 plays, right? So if I go ahead and build this round, let's see how the build fixtures come back with. So we see that Minnesota Vikings is on the top. So why is that on the top? So if I look at the scores here, Minnesota Vikings is at 38. The second on the list is Carolina Panthers. Third on the list is Dallas Cowboys. And then you have Arizona, and Atlanta Falcons is at the bottom of Group 1, and that's why you're not seeing Atlanta Falcons here. So you got this second round sorted by this order. So you have Minnesota on the top, then you have Carolina Panthers, you have Dallas, you have Arizona Cardinals. And Denver Broncos is the top from Group 2. So if you notice that Denver Broncos is 30, and that's why Denver Broncos moved up to Group 1. And in Group 2, you will see that Atlanta Falcons, they really fell off from Group 1, and the remaining 3 are basically sorted in the order of their scores. Indiana Colts 27, and then you have Detroit Lions that is 20, and finally Green Bay Packers that is 17. So that's how the apply ladder logic is working. You can, if you're happy with it, and this is exactly how the play occurred here as well, because players would have followed just the same direction. Just go ahead and lock the round and have your scores edited right here. Once you edit the scores, you log the scores, and you see the scorecard generated, and we'll do that now. The scores are entered. We'll go ahead and lock the score and view the scorecard. So the scorecard got generated. You have round 2, and you have all the teams like you saw others. You can go ahead and download this PDF and share this PDF with your players. We've looked at both doubles individual as well as doubles partner leagues so far. Now the third category of our leagues is the doubles singles league. So the singles league works exactly same as doubles partner. There's absolutely no difference in how they work. You see how the fixtures of doubles partners worked here with these two teams, one game, and these two teams, the game 2 on set 1, and we set court 1 and court 2 here instead of serves and returns like you saw on doubles individual. So that's how the doubles singles leagues are going to work as well. Let's take a quick peek, and we'll do a side-by-side comparison. You will just be able to visualize why that is working exactly the same way. So I'll just go ahead and upload a quick test data without scores. You'll have the same names that we used in doubles individual, because now we are talking about individuals, but instead of the doubles partner, and I'll point out some differences here. Now take a quick look at, let's compare the doubles league singles with the doubles league partner on how the fixtures are. What do the fixtures mean? Now you're seeing the exact same structure really here. In here on the doubles partner, you're saying Minnesota Vikings as a team of 2 is playing against Arizona Cardinals in this first game on court 1 in set 1, and Atlanta Falcons is playing against Carolina Panthers. Atlanta Falcons is a team of 2 playing against Carolina Panthers, which is also a team of 2. That's doubles partners. Whereas in doubles singles, I'm saying David as a single player is playing against Bruce in this game 1 or court 1 of set 1. And Mary single is playing against Kimberly on court 2 of set 1. That was not the case with the doubles partner, and we'll take a quick peek at doubles partner on the side for a quick comparison. Here is a quick comparison of the doubles singles versus doubles individual. Now this is like we already called out, singles and partners just work the same way. But just to call out subtle differences here, on the right hand side with doubles individual, like we said, this is just one game. One column is one game with Robin and Kimberly playing together playing as a team against Christopher and David as a team. Whereas on this, David and Peter are playing against each other on court 1 in set 1. And Mary and Kimberly are playing against each other on court 2 in set 1. That's the difference, and this was the same difference that I called out when we were talking about the doubles league partners versus doubles individual. Hope the difference is clear and it makes all sense. This completes really all the 3 leagues here.